Hey everybody, hope you're all doing great. Yesterday was Rosh Chodesh, the first day of the month of Nissan. Sources teach us that the word Nissan is connected to the word Nisim, from the word Nes, or the word miracle. Historically, Nissan was a time of great miracles for the Jewish people. And I was thinking about it, and it dawned on me that we live in pretty miraculous times nowadays also. Think about it for a second. Just about 2 weeks ago, I hosted a party in my house with over 50 people here. It was Purim. Probably many of you were at similar parties in different places. Imagine the following scene. Imagine somebody gets up, he's had a few drinks already, he gets up and he says, I want to make a l'chaim. So everyone, shh. Crowd quiets down. He gets up and he says, I want to make a prediction. You heard it here first. I had a prophecy, and I'm telling you that in less than 2 weeks, all schools in the country will be shut down. And not only all the schools, but all the synagogues. And not only in this country, but in many countries around the world. And not only the schools and the synagogues, but businesses. All businesses that aren't essential will be shut down, or you have to work from home. And even the ones that are essential, if you can work from home, you can't go into the office. Everyone would probably burst out laughing. What a good joke, Purim joke. Come on. The guy gets insulted. He says, I'm telling you my prediction. This is the real deal. What would you say to him? Come on. It would take a miracle to close all of the synagogues. It would take a miracle for people to not go to work. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the miracle. I guess it's kind of frustrating because if we had to pick one miracle for God to do for us, I don't know, this is the one we would have chosen. I mean, there's the great miracle of the $10 million magically appearing in our bank accounts. There's the great miracle of the Sinai revelation in which, we can experience God in a really deep way. I don't know that the miracle of quarantine was necessarily the one we've been praying for. But at the same time, it's a pretty miraculous existence that we're experiencing nowadays. Something to think about. If you look at this week's Parsha, we're starting this week the third book of the Torah, the book of Leviticus, the book of Vayikra. And the gist of the whole book, specifically this week's Parsha, talks about korbanos, or what we translate often as sacrifices. And when we look at the word korban, it's hard to define. There's no real good English word to define it. We often say sacrifices. The problem with the word sacrifice is that it implies an objectively negative reality that just serves some greater good, but inherently it's actually bad. We're sacrificing something for a greater cause. And in a certain sense, there was that element. I mean, cows are expensive, sheep are expensive, it costs a lot of money. But is that what a sacrifice is? So the sources all explain that the real word for korban, the real word for korban is from the root of karov, to become close. A korban is an opportunity for closeness. In the tabernacle sense, in our parsha, in the temple sense, it was an opportunity God gives us to do teshuvah, to connect to Him, to, so to speak, offer something to some being that doesn't need anything, but through it, it's an opportunity for us to come close. And I think this is a really important thought for today. Over the past few weeks, many people, most of us ourselves, and for sure many people that we know, have experienced sacrifices, loss of jobs, loss of livelihood, loss of control of how our time is spent, loss of recreational activities, loss of social life. There's been losses on a lot of different levels. And I think maybe one of the messages we can glean from this week's Parsha is, how do we want to refer to those happenings? Are they sacrifices? Are they objectively negative things that are just necessary because it's just necessary for our life to do this now? Or are they opportunities for closeness? Through this change of our reality, we're able to become close to our spouses, become close to our children, become closer to our parents, become closer to God. And I think it's really up to any of us to define that. And I guess just a thought for us all to bear in mind as we continue to go through this miraculous existence that we're currently living in, is to kind of always remind ourselves of these happenings, these losses, so to speak, that we're experiencing on different fronts. How do we want to define them eternally? Are we going to make these into sacrifices, or are we going to make these into opportunities for closeness? I want to wish everyone here a healthy Shabbos, and may Hashem, who created this miracle for us, bring forth future miracles, and let us see the greatest of miracles come as Mashiach comes speedily in our days. Have an awesome Shabbos.